Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are building a password generator in C. You've probably seen this little pop-up before when Safari or iCloud keychain suggests a secure password like random numbers with special characters. But have you ever wondered how these passwords are actually generated? Behind the scenes, apps like iCloud use high entropy cryptographically secure generators to build random passwords that are hard to guess and meet typical website rules. But today we will build a simpler version, a command line tool in C that will generate strong customizable passwords with flex using like length, special, upper, and more. And I will be using GitHub code spaces as usual. I just opened that empty template and I will start by saying creating a main and start coding it. So basically what we will have is we will have our app. Let's call it SGen. And we want to give it some flex like length, how long we want to have. We want to check if you want uppercase, if you want lowercase. How many digits do you want? And if you want special characters. By default, there will be no character set. It will include uppercase, lowercase, and digits. Special characters only will be included if you ask for special specifically. And I think we can start with the main because we will have argc and argv, so we can get the flex from the input as an input from the terminal. Let's say length is 12. We will be checking if we want to use upper, which will be 0. Do you want to use lower? 0. Do you want to use digits, which will be 0 again? Do you want to use special characters, which will be 0 as default? And we will have another integer for flag count. And we will have a for loop to check all the flags in the terminal. I will say int I equals 1. We are skipping the first one as the executable name. It will be less than C. And of course, plus I. In this for loop, we will have string compare. We will compare first of all what we have in the index of I, and if it is help, I will also have a help screen. If this equals to 0, it means it is true. We will say print usage argv 0. We will be returning exit success. That's a couple libraries. We will need include most simple one stdio.h. We will be having std library.h standard t library. We will be having string h, but we are using like str compare and stuff. And we will have time.h. will be useful when we are creating the random numbers. And I quickly want to have C plus C and C++ extension. Let's have it. It will be helpful. Yes. And we will have a function, as we said here, print usage function. I will call it static void print usage, which will be having constant char for name. Or it's just char blog name. It will be the program's name, and it will print some stuff. Same like usage, and more. We will continue this later. So right now, we have the first function. We will place that later. It's enough to declare at this point. And I will continue with else if the str compare of the index of I argument is length, which means we are giving a special length to our program. We want to say, first we will be checking if also has another argument, because as I also said here, I can even close this at this point. After length, we will be checking for a number of characters we want to have. And if I plus 1 is also existing, it is good. If it doesn't exist, if I plus 1 is 0, is not larger than the argc, then we will be printing an error message saying std error. We will say error length requires a number, new line, and we will return exit failure. If that's not the case, we will continue our loop and we will have our length. Yes, we defined here, it's as default default 12. If we have a length that required and given by the user, we will say atoi. And in this atoi, we will be checking index plus 1. And again, we will be checking if length is a valid value, if it is less or equals to 0, and length is bigger than maximum length, which we will define, max length, let's say. Let's have a maximum length here. Max length is, let's say, 1 to 8. Oops. I've been using too much Python lately. Let's say define maximum length is 1 to 8. And if it is less than or equal to 0 and more than 1 to 128, we don't want to have it. And we will be saying length must be between 1 and whatever our maximum length is. and we will give maximum length, so we can print it with, as an integer, but of course -1, because at the end of the our integer we have an empty character, because we don't start from 0. Yeah, we start from 0, we don't start from 1. And yes, this is the first one. We are checking for the length. And now let's check for other flags, which will have the RQI, whatever the comment we are searching for, equals 0, something inside else. And yes, I think we can use this couple times, so I will just say for upper, lower digits and special. Right is wrong. Okay, we have too much code bases. Let's clean it a bit. Okay, if the first one is upper, we will do something about that. Then the third one actually, help length upper, lower digits and special. We will have a couple of functions, but for these we already have like the variables we declared earlier. If we give upper as an argument, we will say use upper equals 1, and we have a count of flag, so plus. Again, use lower equals 1, flag count plus. We have one more flag. If we have digits, we will say use digits equals 1, flag count plus. If it is special, we will say use special equals 1, and flag count increases. Of course, if none of these are the case, we will be printing an error message saying error unknown options, and we will say %s to print the string, and we will say index of I in the argument v, and then we will again print usage, dealing with our program. So if there's a mistake, it will say error unknown options, and it will tell how to use it. And this is the basic argument parsing we have here. And let's have another thing. If no character set flag provided, enable upper lower digits by default. And if that's the case, we already have our flag count. If it is 0, we will say use upper, and which will be use lower and use digits, and they will all be 1, which means we want to use upper, lower, and digits if there's no special characters, because usually most of the random passwords have at least like upper, lower, and digits in the password. So I think that's enough. You can change it as you like, of course. This should work for me. And we will have a slength function, which basically terminal man slength. As you can see, when you look at the man page of the slength, It is a pseudo-random number generator, which is not the safest option, but for me, it is enough for this project. When you don't know how to use a function, you can always check the man page. It is very useful. You can see there's also rand_r, and srand. And srand gets an unsigned it integer, and it also has a seed. And that's what we are using. Let's quit this. Again, we don't need the terminal now. Again, as I said, we will be giving it unsigned integer with time. It will be null. Also, we are using time because it will help us to get a random number at that specific time. I will not explain too much on how the random number generator works, but this is basically how you use it. And we will have a function. I will call it after the print usage. It can be a static function, and it will be a string. It will return a string. So that's why we say char star. Let's call it generate password, which will have couple arguments it will take, but we will come to it in a second. And generate password and printf. Printf, we will say generated password is %s, which is for string, and we will give it the password we created. And of course, if all goes well, we will be returning exit success. Okay, I think it looks good. Let's talk about which arguments we will be giving our password generator. As we said here, we can see the variables. We will have an integer of int length, int use upper, int use lower, int use digits, and lastly, int use special. Give them in the function when we call it. Again, same length, use upper, make sure you give them in the same order or it will be problematic later. Use lower, use digits, and use special character. So I believe this concludes our main function. And I just want to make sure it is running as it is right now, even though we don't have a return here. So maybe not call it right now. Or we can just return null for now, so it will not be complaining. I will have a simple makefile. You can also use just GCC, but it's always better to use makefile just to be sure. Of course, CC is GCC. We will have cflex, just simple ones like wall, extra, and stdc11. It will be called passgen, and passgen is passgen.c. dollar $DC dollar cflex o pasgen.c clean. We will say remove f pasgen. Let's try make. Okay, I was trying to see my mistake, which is very stupid, but yeah, I called it main.c, but renamed asked pasgen in the make file, so I will rename my C file. And that's good. We have unused parameters, which makes sense. But right now we are just let's say void length, use upper digits. Left. This should be enough. Let's say make again. Lean, make again. Okay. I guess we need void for all of them. And yeah, let's assume it is working because, or I can, yeah, why am I struggling? Just remove the, we can remove the flex just to test. Lean, make again, and we made it. Pasgen, generated password is null, which is good. Let's say help. It will print usage. Correct. What did we have? Okay, like we also have other flags, which we know at least it gets the help flag. So it can also stay, but who cares? Yeah, exit. Okay. So now at least we know it compiles successfully and we can use the generate password function. I will go and start making the function and to terminal. Let's start with what we will be using. Okay, first we will have a char of password, which will have the maximum length. We will have a constant char for the uppercase characters. You can assign ASCII characters, or you can do like me, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, Y. So let's see. I think this is all. I don't know. I'm not good with alphabet. If you have a child at home or like a niece or something, you can ask them. They are more experienced in singing alphabet songs. Let's continue it. Again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, Y. I hope I didn't miss any value. Or like I said, you can just give an ASCII value perspective. That's all how you want to have your code And for numbers, okay, I think I can do this. Digits will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I believe this one is correct. And again, another constant char for special characters. So you can define the characters you want, but most of the websites are okay with like this, exclamation mark, @ like this dollar, percent, up, asterisk, parenthesis, line, underscore, equal, plus, square bracelet, curly braces, semicolon, colon, comma, dot, larger, equal, question mark, and slash. Okay, so these are the characters we will be having in our password. You can modify them as you like. These are fitting my use case, and we will have a pool that we want to. So we can choose, we know what we will have a pool to choose the characters we will using. So, and let's see, pool length will be 0 at the beginning. And of course, now we will check for our flex. If to use upper is true, you can write in multiple lines, but I will don't want to have too much, so I will have a string cat, which will have the pool, and it will have uppercases in the pool. And actually, you know what? Let's not be too lazy. The str cat, we will have our uppercases in the pool, and we will say pool length is equal to plus equal strlen upper. We will add all the characters from the upper string, like all this alphabet. We will add them to our pool, and then we will say pool length is right now what upper's length, which is this. And same with the others. I will just use it. I will use this 4 times. We have used upper. What is the next one? Use lower. That's the case. We want to change the upper with lower. And next one we have used digits. So we will have the digits for our pool and length of the pool. And lastly, we have the special cases. And in that case, we will say special, and this will be special will be in the pool, and we will also add the length of the special characters to our pool length. And lastly, we will be checking if our pool is empty. So if the pool length is 0, then we will say there's been an error, and we will print the error saying error, no character that's selected. Yeah, simple error saying we don't have anything to generate in the pool, and then we will say exit failure. But if it goes well, we can have a for loop which will start from 0 this time. Int I 0, I is less than length. and plus increment the I. And in this for loop, we will have the index, which our index will be random. That's why we are using the random function. I think random functions comes from the time. I think. Remember, if you are not sure, you can always say man rand. As you can see, generate random bytes, description. Yeah. Whatever. Exit terminal. We are getting the random, but we want to divide it by full length, and we want to see what is we are using modulus operator. Basically, you know how modulus works. And password in index I will be the full index. So we are creating random index using our pool, and whatever in the random part in the pool, we are giving it as a password, and we will have the last character in the password, which will be empty character, just 2, and we will be returning password. I think this concludes our password generator. Let's say make. We have a problem. And let's go to that line. What is the problem? We didn't use program name. That is okay. Let's say %s, say program name. Now we have the program. I say passgen. It is generating a password with uppercases, 1 lowercase, 2 lowercase, and the rest is upper. Let's create it again. This time it's different. Okay, this looks good. Now let's try with length. I will give it 2. We have password for 2. I will give it for 99. We have a password length of 99. Let's keep it simple so we can read them. I will say 10 for now. I don't want all upper, lower, or but I want to see some special characters. So let's say special. And wow. Okay, so we can say I want uppercases. I want lowercases. I want digits. And I also want special characters, and it will be length of 10. In this case, we have a 10 character password. Let's say I don't want any upper letters, so in that case I will just delete the upper, and we have 10 character password, which consists of lower characters, special characters, digits, and it is length of 10. So yeah, I will make the print usage function out of the video. You don't need to see that. I will just explain how we can use this program. But I think this concludes what I was planning to show you today. It is not exactly secure if you are thinking about that, because like in Linux you can use get random, or in Windows you can use crypt gen random, and for macOS there's sec random copy bytes functions, which can be safer, like when we want to use it for banking or keychain tools. But for like basic client tools, and this is a beginner level, using random is totally fine. Don't use this in a banking banking or like keychain company, like be careful. But I would say this is a simple password generator in C. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. I will have a GitHub page, GitHub repository for this project. You can also check it. I will put it in the description. So thank you for watching and see you next time.